Um, I grew up in a house which was big. It was like a big house. And it was my childhood home. And I recently, my parents moved out of this beautiful big house to live in a bungalow. So I just remember the keys to this house, my family home, and wondering what to do with them. Like this has been the same key for 40 years of my life thus far, and the house holds so much of my childhood. And It was really hard to let go of the house. It was like a bereavement. It was we have to let I had to let that thing go. And although I understood that it was important that my parents, as they were getting older, they needed to go smaller into a more smaller house. It was so hard to say goodbye to that house. It was really like closing a whole 40-year chapter. Home was always a thing for me because I moved away from my hometown, and I lived away from my hometown for 20 odd years. So coming home with that key in the same key, it was so symbolic of a whole childhood which was so full of happy memories, playing in the garden, which was huge, and using old water washing up bottles to have water fights in the garden, all the way through to teenager and becoming an artist and getting interested in theatre. Um, yeah.
Darling, I'm sorry, darling Sandra. We have to sell the house of your parents. It's already 5 years empty and not used.
Is there a way though? I mean, can we raise a loan or a mortgage? Can we buy it? Can we buy it? Keep hold of it as well as look after my parents somewhere else. I just feel like it's too soon to let go of it.
Darling, yeah, I know how hard it is, and all your memories are there. But it's not good for a house to stay empty. And I do not want to leave our house and to go to your parents. This feels strange for me.
Yeah. I mean, maybe we could just like keep keep everything, like keep everything in the house. Or what about the plant pots in the hallway, or uh, the
I
paintings
understand
on the
you.
wall?
A museum of your childhood. Wouldn't this be wonderful?
Yeah.
So, but it's just things. It's the house has to live. It would be dead, a dead house just waiting for you to come once a month to look
Mm,
how it withers. It can't be like that.
no, I don't know how to capture everything. I don't know how to keep hold. I don't know how to let it go and keep hold of everything as well at the same time. Just it's really difficult. Although I'm glad my parents are going to be fine. And thank you for all your help. You've really, really helped me so much through this time.
I know you mean good and you want the best, and but to help you now is to make you understanding. You have to give the house a new life. You can't freeze a house. A house is a being. It smells and it moves and it needs to be alive. We have to let it go.
Maybe it's like, maybe you know how a house holds stories, and those stories so far has been have been my stories, and maybe it's good to let the house go and have somebody else build their own stories in that house. I mean, maybe that's recycling.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Recycling a narrative.
That's what I meant. If you would go there and have a look how beautiful it will be. The garden, maybe they will even paint it new and the house will flourish. This is of course it's a melancholic feeling because some memories will be gone, but still it is it's needed. Uh,
You're right. Gosh.
it's a hard
I
process.
really like the idea of it is a process and you know it's there's a cycle of life and death and rebirth, right? So maybe this is a new beginning for me, it's a new beginning for my parents, it's a new beginning for the new residents of the house. So maybe in some way it's all just part of the cycle.
It is. And you can take time. It's not about that we have to decide now everything, but the process should start to see it's a cycle and there will be new life, new kids who sit on the swing after the apple tree. And the apple tree is waiting for the kids.
You're right. You're right. Thank you.
House, garden, tree. This is so stereotype, so romantic stereotype. But I have a little house and I have a tiny little garden. But in this garden is an old apple tree. It's funny, in our area here, there are a lot of apple trees. So when they built the house, the apple tree got into the papers of the city. There has to be this apple tree. And it's a fantastic apple tree. It's old and has huge leaves in summer. I have a round bench around the stem under it. And then I sit there. I just sit there under the apple tree and I read a book. In the evening, I drink a glass of vino and I spend a lot of time there. It's incredible how much the simple tree can give one. So much stillness and in winter so much life. I put a big feeding station for the birds and I call them my angry birds because when I'm not out early in the morning to feed them, they're all sitting there looking very angry at me. Where are you? Where's our food? And then I run. Now we had this minus 10 degrees. I ran in pajamas through the snow and gave them their food. It's just wonderful. I hope that everyone has or could get an apple tree, but maybe not possible, but maybe everyone has a little corner like that, which is so much more than a little corner. So much more.